Hi, hello, and welcome. And once again, we have more reveals for Riftbound. And today was kind of a spicy day. The other day, the cards were a lot more niche. I felt like a lot of the cards were, you kind of knew where they were going, or they're kind of predictable on which playstyle they had, because clearly they only had like one or two playstyles. I thought the only card yesterday that was really big was I believe the card's name, yeah, here it is, Consult the Past. It's a blue card for 4 energy to draw 2. I thought that was the only major card that like maybe could shake things up a little bit. But today, thankfully, we have some better cards. I think these are a lot more exciting than the other day. And I'm sorry if I've been sounding a little bit different. I just haven't really felt that good in these last couple of days. So if my energy seems down or up or whatever else, just know it's because of that. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the cards. The first one is Karma, the league champion. So we got another champion unit today. She is a 6 energy, 1 power for 6 might, and her first ability is Vision. So just like all the other cards with Vision, it says, when you play me, look at the top card of your main deck, you may recycle it. Very good for certain decks, but for yellow, so usually we haven't seen this with yellow currently. The only way you could really get it, like if you wanted to play yellow with this, is to like go like Viktor, like blue yellow, and get the seer that can give every card vision. That's like really the only way. So it's unique that Karma does. It makes sense for Karma to have like a vision effect, right? It makes a lot of sense. But her actual main ability is when you recycle 1 or more cards, buff a friendly unit. And this is actually kind of interesting. So not only is she a vision card, but she's a buff card. And what, I mean, first, you can think of the cards that she can actually play with. You can think of things like Set, Set for sure. But my main thing about her is that I feel like she's actually going to be really good in something like Viktor. And like, yeah, Vision's already there if you play Seer with Viktor. But my main thing about this card is that one of the issues about tokens in general is that Viktor, he might capture a point and hold it for a turn or get 1 point out of it, but he instantly loses it because, the tokens are not that scary unless they're in like a group. In this way, every time you recycle, and mind you, her passive is Vision. There's other ways with blue especially to get the term Vision on other cards. You can just keep buffing people as long as Karma is out. Now, mind you, she is a 6 energy for 1 power. At least she is 6 might, so maybe you get 2 or 3 buffs off of her if you're playing correctly. But this does help up, like let's say Viktor with his tokens, and maybe if you have yellow Darius and Viktor, that's another +1 for everyone. I could totally see like tokens at least being a 3/3, which is a lot of power for tokens. I mean, 3 tokens on a base is normally 3, right? Like, and then with like, if you can buff them up a couple times, that's a 9 points on, just from tokens, right? I think this has a different type of play style for yellow. And I think maybe we're seeing a new way of playing yellow. And real quick, I'm just going to the legends real quick to remind myself. So Set, Viktor, maybe Leona if Leona gets more buff support, or like there's cards that change, like if she feels better with some more buffs, we could see Leona running it. But Leona has like the best spells cards in the game, being part green. Because I don't really think her deck really needs it. And like, maybe you could see Darius running something like this, but he doesn't want Vision, right? Darius doesn't care about that. He just cares about spamming the field, getting his units out, and swarming the battlefields. So really, I think this is a major Viktor card. I think they are, slowly as the releases keep coming out, I think they're trying to make Viktor a spam token character clearly. Like so that's this whole deck, aggro token deck. But being able to buff and really like power up those tokens to actually do something, because one of the issue with the trial decks is that Viktor is good due to his spell cards, due to yell spells. Well, a lot of the tokens and everything are just there to capture a couple of points early game. Then usually you just either attack with them or they're just like fodder that you can use. Now I think with these buff cards coming out for yellow and like with the vision effect, I think it will allow not only Viktor to get the cards that he wants, but it also allows Viktor to just be a little bit more stronger, which is always a nice thing for a trade-off. So let's go to the next one. It is another order card, but this one is a gear. So it's 2 energy and its name is Forge of the Future. Very funny artwork. The guy is like doing a gesture with his shirt off. Very fun. It says when you play this, play a 1 might recruit unit token at your base, and then you also, the other effect is kill this, recycle up to 4 cards from trashes. I don't like the way this is worded. It should be from either player's trash, or like any player's trash. I don't like how it just says recycle up to 4 cards from trashes, because I know what they mean. You can do this to any amount of trashes you want to. So if you're playing like a free for all, you could like take 1 card from every person's like trash and recycle it. But the thing is, this does make a recruit token, so you could say this is, this is of course going to Viktor, maybe even Darius and things like that. But the main thing I see with this card is that it's a sideboard card, and we already know that I believe we're going to be getting an 8-card side deck for competitive play in Riftbound. And this just screams to me like you're going against Kaisa, you're going up against like Jinx, like, let's say Super Mega Death Rocket. Let's say they try Conquer, or like, they're going to try Conquer next turn to get Super Mega Death Rocket back. You can kill this and recycle their Super Mega Death Rockets, or like Kaisa spells, or anything like that, and really help you out. I think this is for sure gonna be a sideboard card. I could totally see any of the yellow decks that like tokens, so i.e. set, or I mean, not really set, but I meant more like Darius or Viktor putting 3 of these in their sideboard and just using it if they come against a Kaisa player, or like anything in the future that like allows people to get things from the trash. Like let's say like a purple deck, and maybe they start doing things from the trash. But I think this card is good. I just don't think it's main deck good. I don't think you're going to care about the 2. I mean, at the end of the day, it is 2 energy for 1 might recruit, which is not that big. I mean, it does recycle a card from your trash, so maybe in Viktor, if you really want some of your bigger, harder hitting cards, maybe you want to recycle Viktor back, even with Darius too. But for right now, I'm going to call this a sideboard card. I don't think you're going to really see this in main decks, and if you do, it's just because either they don't know what else to put in the deck, or it's because they feel like a lot of their more important cards get wasted early on, and they need to put back in the deck just in case. But even then, I think most of the games I play don't last that long to get to the bottom of your deck again. So I really only see this as a sideboard, and I think it's a perfect sideboard card. I like the look of it. It's cheap. This is a perfect material for sideboard use. I wouldn't be mad if that's the case, because at least it gives some counterplay to Jinx, to Kaisa, any future deck that does stuff like this. And I know personally, whenever I play my Jinx deck, I spam the field so much. I always use Super Mega Death Rocket every other turn. And I know a lot of the people I play against kind of wish that this card was a thing already. So I'm sure if they play yellow, they're going to love this card. And I'm sure they're going to use it against me. Now on to the next, we have another champion unit, and this one is Qiyana. She is a 4 energy for 1 power for 4 might, and she has deflect, so that means you must pay 1 power to target her with spells or abilities. And then it says, when I conquer, draw 1 or channel 1 rune exhausted. This is clearly for body or orange, wherever you want to call it. This is not only good for any of the ramp decks, but this is just a good card in general. Any card that has deflect is automatically good. It's harder to get off the board, and that 1 power is more worth it to play the card. And 4 might is nothing to laugh at. I think 4 might's a okay amount of power for 4. You have to think about it like this: 4 energy, 1 power for 4 might, but also it's deflect, so that means they have to pay 1 power to really target it, as long as it's not on a battlefield, of course, or like you're not fighting with it. But it does have the good ability of when I conquer, either draw 1 or channel 1 rune exhausted. I think this is a perfect ability because it's not anything crazy. It's draw 1 or channel 1, and with an orange deck or with a body deck, you clearly want ramp. And so if you're doing this in something like Volibear, I don't know if you would, but if you were playing this in Volibear, you have an extra way to ramp. I think in Volibear, that's always a good thing. Just any of the body decks, besides really like Misfortune, maybe. I don't think no one really minds Misfortunes. I mean, she uses a lot of power, but I don't think they really care about ramping that much. But like for things like, Volibear and just like the orange ramps, it's just really good, and just having deflect on the card is really nice as well. I don't really have anything else to say about this card. I like Qiyana from League of Legends. I think this card is fun. I think it's very good. I think it's even, at least, because you do have deflect with the 4 might. And just having that conquer ability just adds a little bit to it. I think overall this is a solid card. Not my favorite from like the ones released here, but I like it a lot. I think that we need more cards like this, especially for body. I think body deserves more like ramp cards, because right now I think Volley Bear might be the worst legend in the game. I don't, because I love Volley Bear. I really want to play Volley Bear. I really want to like a Dragon Volley Bear ramp deck, but right now it's just really bad. I don't want to keep. I don't want to keep trying out Volley because it just feels really bad to play. You might sneak a win here and there, but for right now, Volley is just too weak to really keep playing. And going on to our next one, we have another body card, and let me tell you this. So first off, this is my favorite from today's revealed cards. I think Pit Rookie, and I will go ahead, that's the name of this card, is Pit Rookie. It's a unit. It's 2 energy for 2 power, which is a great, I mean, I think we can all agree, like, red has some of the best low energy for might cards in the game. And finally, besides for First Mate, Body finally has another good, like, just 3 energy, or another, like, just low energy for good might card, which is Pit Rookie, 2 energy for 2 might, but it has the ability that when you play me, buff another friendly unit. So clearly this is for like the Lee Sin, the Set, really any deck that buffs. But even without that, like, let's just say this can be Ren in Misfortune, because Misfortune doesn't have a lot of good lower energy cards. This can be used in every orange deck, because what orange or what body deck doesn't want to get buffed, right? Like, even if you're not using the buffs or spinning them, having a big hitter in Volley be +1, another +1 in Misfortune. Like, I'm running the package with Cloudfield, with Shaman in my Misfortune deck, and if you put Pit Rookie in there, this would be way stronger. I could even see like I don't know. I just think this unit is really good. I think this is by far my favorite card revealed today. I think it's good. I think it's healthy for the game. I'm glad Body is getting more love, because it felt like a lot of Body's things are just like really expensive. It does have a lot of reward to it, but with cards coming out like this, I could totally see a Misfortune, see it in Set, see it in Lee Sin. For sure see in Volley Bear if you just want to more consistency on the lower end. Now I know you ramp fast, but this is always going to be like one of the best turn 1 cards you'll play in Body for right now. We'll see how the releases go and see if there's any that can match this for Body, but for right now, this reminds me of a lot of the red cards, or a lot of the Fury cards that we have right now. This is just a great 3 of, I don't think you go wrong with it. I want to play test this in a couple Body decks, especially Set. In Lee Sin. I think Lee Sin also really loves this card, because it's just a cheap buff for him, alongside like Arena Bar. And you know, this is just a really good card. So let's go on to the last card, and that is a new Battlefield. And mind you, it's sideways. I'm going to turn my head for a second to read this. But it says, when you conquer here, look at the top 2 cards of your main deck. You may recycle one or both of them. Put those you don't back in any order. Okay, so it says, but those you don't back in any order. So basically, when you conquer here, you look at the top 2 cards. You may recycle them or put on the top of your deck in any order you wish. So first off, this is a Teemo card. You know, we just got Nocturne yesterday. I don't think Nocturne's that good. I was trying out the Teemo deck with Nocturne and trying to make it work. It just kept making me rage. I just don't think we have enough cards right now to see how good it could be. But clearly this is a Teemo card. This is for a lot of some of the blue decks I want to search more, like with Vision. I think Viktor will eventually get to a point where he can actually be a very strong deck if he's allowed to keep looking at the tops of his cards, to just keep getting good draws over and over again, and kind of like filter out his deck when he needs that specific moment. I think this is going to be a battlefield that you might not see a lot of like today. Like, you might not see a lot of people running unless it's like I said, a Teemo deck. But I think you might see more of it being played later on in the format, or just with more cards coming out. And mind you, right now we don't even have that many battlefields. Like if you look at Riftbound main website, there's a lot of blank coming soon spaces for like where the battlefields are. So I'm really excited to see just how far they push battlefields and what some other like crazy like ways that you can play the game. Because so far I've kind of noticed that they kind of designed one battlefield for each legend, like or it feels like they kind of designed at least one battlefield to like be somewhat playable with one legend. And we have a couple so far that I think it's just like, oh, this is clearly, you know, meant for like this play style of deck. As I'm really excited to see what the other battlefields look like, you know, slowly as they come out. And remember that the real reveals don't end until July the 18th, and so we still have a good 2, almost 3 weeks left of reveals. And of course, I'll keep doing them every other day. I'll be off this weekend because there's gonna be no reveals. I don't have any video coming out this weekend, so I'll see you guys back on Monday. But as always, like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know how you feel about these cards. Do you think Viktor's getting better? Do you like Pit Rookie like I do? Are any of the decks you're playing you can use these cards right now? Just let me know how you're feeling. And as always, I catch you later. Peace out.